Well, good morning, Jagender Rana here. How the idea of an Indian face fuels racism against those from Northeast. This is the topic of our discussion today. How the idea of an Indian face fuels racism against those from Northeast. The concern of the people of Northeast living in other parts of the country was the official mandate of a committee formed in 2014 and headed by retired top civil servant MP Bajua, MP Bajua to address the racist of motivated attacks on Northeast. Northeast enters in the nation's capital. So that the government chose to employ this elaborate euphemism and avoid the term race was not accidental. Many Indians believe that racism occurs only in the US, Australia, and Europe, and that Indians are always on the receiving end of white racism. Thus, in 2009, when the media was reporting on the rise in racial discrimination against Indians in Australia, then Mizoram Chief Minister Pu Lal Thanwala caused a national uproar by saying that racism also exists in India. In India, he said at a conference in Singapore, people ask if I am an Indian. They ask me if I am from Nepal or elsewhere. They forget that the Northeast is part of India. I've told many that, see, I'm an Indian like you. I am a victim of racism. 15 years later, making such an assertion, in the hill city of Dehradun cost young Angel Chakma his life. When the Tripuri youth was abused racially as a foreigner, he said, "We are not Chinese, we are Indians. What certificate should we show to prove that?" So the West Bengal Committee, to its credit, did not shy away from using the word race, calling Northeast people chinky, who will land you in jail, was how the Times of India headlined its report, drawing attention to its key recommendations to criminalize racial slurs and violence against Northeasterners. So while this didn't happen, a few Delhi specific recommendations were implemented. But given how persistent the issue has been, we may need to look beyond the law for an enduring solutions. Anthropologists Jal J. P. Waters and Tenka B. Subba may make the useful observations that there is no place for the mongoloid phenotypes preponderant in Northeast India in the way the Indian face is commonly imagined by many Indians. So the use of the term Mongoloid in this context can be traced back to German naturalist J. F. Blumenchu in 1935 proposed that there are 5 biologically based races. He named them by associating physical traits with the geographical locations. However, the idea of separate human races in a biological sense is now outdated, especially with the development of modern genetics. But behind the notion of the Indian face is the idea of a physiognomic map of India whose outer borders are determined not by markers of the state territory but by phenotype considerations. So Wooters and Subba point to the book There in No Black in the Union Jack, in which British socialist Phil Gilroy contends that even if they were born in the UK, Black buttons are always viewed as the other due to their racialized features. So the notion that there are no Mongolian phenotypes in the Indian face parallels Galloway's claim about the status of blacks in the UK. It can be said that the phrase Mongolian French coined by Olaf Coe, the Foreign Secretary of British India, foreshadows the post-colonial term Northeastern for Karo, the Mongolian French in which included Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan and the northeast frontier. Tracts that is mostly today's Arunachal Pradesh was British Imperial, India's inner ring of defense. In his official note, he tried to show that China regards Tibet and these areas as unredeemed lands. But must the physiognomic map of our minds continue to carry the debris of imperial geopolitics? An important beginning towards changing this mindset was made by philologists and the author Sunit Kumar Chatterjee. In a book published 75 years ago, Kirata Janakriti, Kirata Janakriti, which has the subtitle The Indo-Mongoloids, their contributions to the history and culture of India, the civilization of India, wrote Chatterjee is the joint creation of a diverse people, Aryan, Dravidian, Austric and Mongoloid. So utilizing racial classification that are now obsolete but were commonly used at that time. So of this the Aryan base has always received the greatest attention, while there has been significant progress in the study of the Dravidian heritage and some amount of work on the Austric heritage. So the Mongoloid contribution has not yet been seriously studied as an element of Indian history and civilization. Chatterjee also claimed that the Sanskrit term Kirata referred to the Mongoloid people living in the mountains, particularly in the Himalayas and the Indian Northeast. For the notion that Northeasterners are descendants of the Kiratas of ancient lore offers promising path of regarding them as so-creators of ancient civilization and full citizens of a multi-ethnic, multilingual and multi-religious modern civilization state. Thank you very much.